Hello, everyone. Welcome in today. Today, we're going to go through our mock draft now that wildcard weekend is complete. I am going to have to do some trades, though, because for some reason, the PFF simulator isn't up to date, and that's the one I traditionally use. So let's go ahead and go through it. At number one, I have the Tennessee Titans in this scenario going Shedeur Sanders. Now, is this something I would do? No. But I'm saying, what happens if Shedeur goes number one overall? What if the Titans fall in love with him? I personally don't think they will. I think if they take a quarterback, it'll probably be Cam Ward, and I'm not even convinced they're going to go quarterback. I haven't finished my film review. I've watched 2 games, and with Shedeur, I got to be honest with you, he's a solid prospect, but he's more of like a Bo Nix. I'd take him. Reality is, he's probably a round 2 talent, but because he's a quarterback, I would take him middle of the first round. I wouldn't take him top 5, top 10. Not worth it. But what if it happens? We're going to find out here as Shedeur goes at 1. Well, at number 2, I'm pretty sure in this scenario, Cam Ward would still come off the board at 2 to the Cleveland Browns. Now, I haven't been convinced that their primary focus is a quarterback. The Browns are going to take a quarterback. I really do feel like they're going to go the veteran route. I feel like with them having to pay Deshaun and his contract being still there, that they may not move on from him or want to fully admit they were wrong yet. So I'm not sure they go rookie. But we're going to say in this scenario, they do at 3. It's just BPA to the Giants. It's Travis Hunter. He's currently my highest graded player in this draft. I do like Abdul Carter, but the thing with Abdul Carter is I don't think he's a top 10 pick in a normal class because he's still pretty raw. He has the potential, which is why he's going to be picked so high. He could be an elite edge rusher. He has the bend, and that's why I have the New England Patriots drafting him here at 4. A little bit of this is possibly hope as well. I think I'd prefer to see the Patriots get Carter over Hunter. I think we could use an elite edge rusher, and he has everything in his tool belt to be able to become elite. He just hasn't put it all together yet, which is why I don't have a top 10 grade on him right now. But he's a really good player. I've only done 2 games once again. I'm working through trying to get up more, but I'm also trying to watch some guys at the bottom. I'm going to start releasing some early rankings, and I'm going to have to watch more film, but I think I'm going to have a little fun with that as well. Either way, pick 5, Jacksonville's on the board here, and I had the Jaguars going Mason Graham. This is just a BPA pick right here, and I think he'd be a fantastic upgrade for him. Mason Graham's currently my 2nd rated player in this class, and I love the kid. I think he's awesome. And I think he'd be a big upgrade. At number 6, Raiders, unfortunately, are not going to be able to get a quarterback in this situation, which is really bad for them, to be honest with you. But I'm going to give him Ashton Genty. I just think he's such a good player. They could use a running back. Why not get him out there? At pick 7, the Jets are on the board, and I'm going to go Will Johnson, simply BPA in this situation. I really like Will Johnson. I think that he would be a good upgrade. I mean, Sauce has been awesome, and the Jets have had a pretty good DB room, but you got to get the best player available, and to me, that's Will Johnson. At pick 8, the Carolina Panthers are up on the board, and they go Tetaroa McMillan. I really like Tet McMillan, and I honestly could see the Patriots taking him. He reminds me, he's not as physical as A.J. Brown, but I feel like he's in that mold where he's a bigger guy and is a jump ball type guy. And I think that Mike Vrabel might like that as the new Patriots head coach. But I personally would prefer to see them go Abdul Carter or even Mason Graham over Tet McMillan at this point, now that I've watched more film. But that's just my opinion. At pick 9, the Saints are on the board, and I got them going Jalen Walker. Now, this is somebody that I don't know if he goes top 10, but he has all the talent in the world. He's a linebacker. It's a little bit of Demario Davis getting older. Them needing to upgrade their linebacking core for the future. So that's why I have him going this way. I'm not sure that it's direction they'll go. It's probably not their biggest need, but he's just such a good player that I had him go here. At pick 10, I have the Bears going Will Campbell, and I think he's going to play guard in the NFL. I think he's a lot like Peter Skoronski. He's just not big enough, long enough to be able to play at tackle. And plus, honestly, I have a little bit of concerns. Like, I've seen him get beat a few times watching tape where I'm like, I just feel like inside where he can get some help, he'll probably be a little bit better. At pick 11, it's Calvin Banks going off the board. Now, I'm a little bit higher on Banks than apparently PFF and Trevor Sikkema are, but I'm not 100% sure he's the tackle, and I think that works out really good for the Niners. He can play guard, no question about it, but I also do think he can play tackle. I like Calvin Banks. Josh Simmons, I just didn't see him get really tested this year, so it was easy for him to look good, and I feel like he got pushed up the board a little bit because of that, but, you know, I'm going to stick with what I know, and I'm going to put Banks here at 11. At 12, the Dallas Cowboys are on the board, and for them, I gave them Luther Burden. Now, this was just best player available. I forgot to get him drafted in my last mock draft, and it was stupid. It never should have happened. So this time, we're going to make sure he's in round 1. This might be a little higher than I think he goes as more of a slot-only guy, but he's a good player, man. He's just a good player. At pick 13, You got Malachi Starks going to the Dolphins. This is simply, I think they could lose Javon Holland, and he'd be a fantastic replacement. He's just such a good player, man. He could go at a higher pick, but being a safety, I think he's going to be downgraded a little bit. At pick 14, the Colts are up, and who did I have them go? Tyler Warren. Now, I still like Colston Loveland quite a bit. I love Tyler Warren. He's a beast. But I think Loveland is a little bit more of that flex tight end that people love in the NFL. And I could see somebody like the Dolphins, or not Dolphins, I looked at their thing. The Colts going with a guy like Colston Loveland, even though I could understand Tyler Warren's a bit of a freak and he's going to be able to play in line a little bit more, which may help space that offense out a little bit. And, you already got Josh Downs in slot, so maybe you do need a little bit more of an inline guy. So that's why I have Tyler Warren going at 14. At 15, the Atlanta Falcons went Nick Scorton. He's a solid edge, man. Right now, I'm not sure how I feel about him yet. I currently have him graded as a borderline round one, late round one, two guy. I think he's a good player. He's solid. He's probably a good starter in the NFL. He has the ability to hit the spin move. He has power in his game. He's a big boy, but I'm just not seeing the high end pop. Like, I don't see the bend that you want out of an edge rusher. So I think he's a little bit more of like a 3-4 end, but I think he could fit in there. The Rams with Raheem Morris used to have a lot of bigger edges. So I'm just going to kind of translate that here and say maybe that's what they're doing with Scorton. At pick 16, it's the Cardinals. And this is very unpopular, but I have them going tackle, and it's going to be Josh Simmons. I think, in my opinion, the Cardinals need to worry about their right tackle slot. Jonah Williams is not under contract, and I don't think he'll come back, to be honest with you. So for me, I'm giving him a tackle. People want D line, which I get, but I just think tackle is such an important position with a guy like Kyler at quarterback, and you have to have it sorted out, or else you're never going to succeed. At pick 17, the Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock, and I have them going Kenneth Grant. Now, he's my third rated defensive tackle, but I thought he made a lot of sense here. They lost DJ Reader, I think it was a few years ago, and I think it really affected their defense. I think they need another big plugger up the middle, and I think Kenneth Grant's just such a good player. So I'm going to give him to the Bengals here at pick 18. Michael Williams is my selection for the Seahawks. I'm not as high on him, but people love him. So I have him moved up the board here a little bit. I don't know. He's pretty raw at edge. He has tools in his toolbox, and I think he could be kind of versatile. So I'm going to give him to a guy like McDonald, who I think is a really good coach, and maybe he can get the best out of him. At pick 19, it should be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're going to have to do a trade here. All right, we're back. We had to switch. I had to go to a different database because I didn't have trades, and I'm guessing it's because I don't play for the PFS subscription right now. Normally I do, but I'd left my job this year, so I didn't. Either way, we're going to finish up on NFL Draft Database Simulator here, and we're now with the correct order. They actually have it correct, so we're going to go ahead and finish up this. Next, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the clock. Now, the Bucs, they absolutely need an edge rusher, and I'm a little higher on this guy, and I think some people probably will disagree, and it's not just off of the tape that he put out in the playoffs. He has been good all year, and I've just enjoyed watching him. I'm going to go Jack Sawyer to the Buccaneers. Now, at pick 20, the Denver Broncos are up on the board, and I had Denver going Colston Loveland at tight end. I think he's a fantastic player. He could be my tight end one, like I said, so I'm going to have him go off at pick 20. They've used move tight ends and had a ton of success in the past. I think Sean Payton will know how to do it. At pick 21, Pittsburgh's up. I have the Steelers going Emeka Ibuka currently at receiver. They need help, man. George Pickens isn't a wide receiver one. Emeka Ibuka isn't a wide receiver one either, but you can put him in the slot and he can get a lot of catches, make tough move the chains type plays that you need. This offense is a mess right now, and Ibuka's going to help him just get better. Now it's the Chargers up at pick 22, and I have the Chargers going James Pierce. He's somebody that I'm not as high on, but he has a lot of potential, and I see why people like him. So he's gone at pick 22. It'll help them. Khalil Mack probably won't be back next year. You got to start upgrading. Bosa's getting older. You still have to what is his name? He played at USC. I can't remember his name. They do have another edge rusher, but I just think having somebody like Pierce out there would be just a good get for this team. At Green Bay, at pick 23, is going to go Shamar Stewart. Now, this kid, he flashes, man. Okay. I could see why they list him at interior, but he's an edge rusher to me. I got him going to Green Bay. At pick 24, This is a pick that I love. Minnesota is going to go ahead and get Walter Nolan. I love Walter Nolan. He's my number 2 D tackle in this class right now. He is somebody that I think just he has to improve against the run, don't get me wrong, but his pass rush upside is so high that man, I see him as somebody who could really, really be an impact player for a defense. Now, his arm length and stuff is going to matter because it does look like he gets swallowed up a little bit by guys who are longer than him and can get their hands on him first. But I don't know, man. I just love the upside of the pass rush from him. At pick 25, the Texans are on the clock. I have them going Armand Membu at tackle. Now, this is a guy, I got to be fully honest with you. I am trusting a little bit of Trevor Sikkema and Connor Rogers of the NFL Stock Exchange. I haven't watched him yet, but he is high on both of their lists, and I think the Texans need a tackle, so I'm going to give him Mbu. Jade Barron at pick 26 to the LA Rams. Sorry, he's a corner. Where's it at? There it is. Jade Barron's going to the Rams. I think they need to continue adding to the secondary. They have a really good young team on defense, and I think you just keep adding pieces, and this team's going to be really, really good until Matt Stafford has to be replaced eventually, but for now, they're going to be a really good team. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders, and I went Trey Amos to them. I think he's somebody who's really long. He shows a lot of upside, in my opinion. I like Amos, and I could see him as a first-round pick in this draft. At pick 28, I had the Ravens go an edge rusher that I personally am pretty high on, and that's Princely Umami Ellen. I really like Umami Ellen, man. I'm a Gator fan. I mean, you can see by the hat, and I'm still a little salty that he left and the way he handled himself, but you got to respect a good player, and he's a good player. I think he's a first round talent. Now, I wouldn't take him top 10 probably, but I think he's a really good pass rusher. I do have to watch more tape on him and make sure what I'm seeing is right, but I'm being a little higher than the average consensus from what I see on these draft boards, but I think I could see myself moving him up even higher because I'm really high on the guy. I picked 29. You got the Buffalo Bills going Matthew Golden at receiver. Now, this is a dude that has risen up draft boards this year. And I think Matthew Golden had a fantastic year for Texas. Now, he's not going to test like an Isaiah Bond, but Isaiah Bond hasn't produced, honestly. Trey Harris is somebody, the health stuff, I could see him getting high on the list. I like Alec A.O. Manor. I really like him, man. Big physical receiver. I think he is somebody that could go at the end of round one, but I'm going to give the Bills some juice and Golden. At pick 30, the Eagles are up, and I'm just going to give him a tackle. And I think he could play interior, which is why I'm going to give him to him, and it's Wyatt Milam. I think he's the type of guy you can use at guard if you need to. You can use a tackle. And I know it's not the biggest need, but I don't know if Mekhi Becton will be back at guard. So you have an opportunity to put him there and fill in a spot and develop him. You got to trust that they will be able to. Cameron Williams is a really good player, and he could come in and sit for a year, which is probably what he needs anyway. And I almost put him there, but I was kind of hoping he'd go back to Texas, so I didn't put him in this mock. And then he announced he isn't, so it is what it is. But I think he's kind of raw, and he could rise up just because of his profile, but he's not ready right now. I got to be honest with you. At pick 30, it's Derek Harmon. He's somebody that I'm pretty high on. I like Derek Harmon quite a bit, and he is my D tackle 4, I believe. We're going to have the list coming out, but I really like Derek Harmon, and I think I'm pleasantly surprised with how good he is. Now, I will say a guy like you look at Tyleek Williams, I'm just not as high on Tyleek Williams. Dayon Walker, not very high on Dayon Walker either, if I'm being honest with you. He is like a guy that really shows a lot of potential and he has good pass rush. But man, there are plays he just stands up straight out of his thing and just plays patty cake with the old lineman. It looks like he gets tired and he doesn't do anything, man. He shuts it down early on plays. You can see there's times he just doesn't even try, it looks like. So Dayon Walker for me, not gonna be rated this high. I haven't watched Alfred Collins at all. Gotta watch him. TJ Sanders, this is probably closer to where I view him. I got to be honest with you because I just wasn't that impressed. But he was also the first D lineman that I watched, so maybe I was a little tough on him because he was rated so high in like PFF and stuff. But right now, I'm not very high on TJ Sanders. So to me, Derek Harmon's the easy selection for the Chiefs. Keep adding to this D line and make themselves more fortified up front. You know, Chris Jones is such a good player, but he is getting older. Keep adding young pieces and develop them. With the final pick, I got Detroit Lions going a guy that's currently one of my guys that I like, and that's Alec A.O. Manor. I think the Lions just need to add size at receiver, and I think he's somebody that could easily do it. And I really like A.O. Manor, so I'm going to go ahead and draft him to the Lions. So now we can scroll through the mock draft, and you can see this is how it finished up. I'm really curious what you guys think. I always put them out in short form first, so This is my defending of the picks and what I think. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll be back. I'm going to keep doing mock drafts as more teams get eliminated because it'll give you the final draft order. And then from there, we're going to end up just probably taking a break in between the Super Bowl or, the Pro Bowl week, basically. And then after that, it's probably pretty quickly. We're gonna have the Senior Bowl. Like we're gonna be hitting a lot of mock drafts. I enjoy doing them. We're also gonna be doing some position rankings this year. I think it's something that I wanted to do last year, but I just didn't have time to get to it. And this year, I'm gonna make sure I at least get them out. Now, I have watched 2 games of almost everybody that I think's a first round talent, and now I've got to finish off the guys that could be potentially in that first round conversation, and then I've got to get back in and get caught up on some of these other guys and get up to 4 games because I feel like that gives you a good base. Quarterback, I usually like to watch 6, but I might only get 4 in this year. We're going to be doing that here soon. I'm going to be releasing an early position rankings for D linemen or D interior D linemen this week, probably towards the end of the week, maybe like Friday or Saturday, just because I have that position. I feel pretty confident in my rankings there, and I don't know how much they'll change. I decided I don't want to hold on to it, and I was just going to do a final rankings, but why not? Let's create the content and get it out there. I want you guys to know how I'm feeling right now and start defending how these mock drafts come out and why I view them, because I am not just guessing. I go back and I watch games and I make sure that I know how I feel about the guy. A lot of these mock drafts are what the NFL might do and what I see. Like, I don't see Shedeur as a first top of 10 pick at all. I wouldn't take him till like 15 at the earliest. But I know the NFL is probably going to value him higher, so I mock him higher. And that's why I want to share my grades and my thoughts on guys. So I'm LDJ11. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back with more draft content soon. And I also post college football 25 content as well if you want to see that. But I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.